Kia ora. My name's Kim Webby. I am a documentary filmmaker and I make factual series as well. My background was in journalism before I went into documentary making, and I live here in Auaha. When I'm researching for a subject for a documentary or a factual story, I often come in here because the access to books is really important to me. Sure, I could Google search, but for example, I recently worked on the Anzac program for Whakaata Māori.
When you are attacking, your mind is fully on your job, not about if I get hit. You're only thinking about what you're doing.
Toti recalls the ship once coming under fire. There's some big hefty books in here on World War I and World War II. And I know that they're written by credible sources. They're military historians or, historians or sociologists. So I know that everything I'm reading in that book is factual, has been checked. Whereas if I was just doing a Google search, I'd be constantly going back to reference what I'm reading to make sure that it's accurate and credible. Yeah, it's a beautiful building to come into and work in, and it's got, as you say, all these different little spaces that you can work in. I like this one because it's quite quiet and it's got an incredible selection of books behind me. So it's for me, this is a great little space to work. Sometimes I work on the other side. I'll work in here, I'll have the books open beside me, my laptop open, so I can write down notes or reference the books as I'm going through. Of course, I can also take the books home as well and work at home. But sometimes, because I am a freelancer, I work for myself and I work, especially in the research stage, by myself. It's actually quite nice to come in here and just feel the vibe of having people around me from time to time. It gets a bit lonely sitting at home all day, every day. Just from that social connection perspective, for people working from home, it's a great option to have. My grandson, who is on the autism spectrum, he comes in. There's always activities here for him to do. He's really interested in the 3D printer and he's had a few goes on that. There's a VR headset in here, which he's totally into. He plays around on that. So all of that technology is a really important part of the library community for my family. It's also, the library is a little bit of a local art gallery, I think, because there's always changing exhibitions, although they don't call them that, but there's always new art on the walls every time I come in from local people, be they paintings, photography, craft work, weaving. So it really is a great way just to connect in to find out what everyone else is doing. The staff are awesome, so friendly, so helpful, so knowledgeable. I came in and I said, look, I'm researching these specific stories about Māori soldiers during World War I and World War II, and they pulled out, the big volumes of books that I needed. Everything was sort of right there at my fingertips. If I'd had to go out and buy those books, they're probably about $150 each. And I'm probably only going to use them, once or twice. And so it's a great cost saving as well. This is a real kind of, I'm not quite sure, but for me, it's very much the heart of the community in many ways. I always come in here, there's always someone I know. There's people here from all walks of life. There's the retired, older, perhaps wealthy people who have time on their hands. There's the more down and out people in our community, some homeless, who are coming in here for a cup of coffee and maybe a look at the newspaper or access to the computers. It's a real microcosm of our community, and I think it offers great connection for the whole community, and that's one of the things that I really love about it.